Good morning, everybody. Mark Finan here in the home weather office on this Friday morning. It is now the 10th day of January 2025. This is the morning briefing coming to you from the home weather office, and as I look out the window, it's clear as can be, not a cloud to be found. Another cold morning, some areas of frost not too far away from here. It is going to be another nice day. We have seen some mild afternoons over the last couple of days with temperatures in the 60s in the valley. However, as we head into the weekend, a little change is going to take place. It is going to get cooler, and during the day tomorrow, it's also going to be somewhat breezy in Northern California. I'll look at the wind in Northern California and in Southern California because of the ongoing fires there. It's still going to be a little while before we see much cooler weather down there, as well as onshore breezes and the marine layer coming back and that sort of thing. Let's start off this morning with the satellite and what is happening. I'm recording this before there is enough sun on the satellite to get us the good view, but as you can see, there are some high clouds going through the northern part of the state. The rest of the state is clear. Let me zoom in on this a little bit more. And this is the cloud cover that's going to brush by the area today. This is a little inside slider that's going to go by to our east and provide a few of these high clouds as it goes on by. This will be dropping from north to south as we go through the day. So while much of the area is starting off clear as can be, we are going to see a few high clouds go by later in the day. In Southern California, we aren't seeing, this view doesn't show much in the way of the smoke, but it is still there. But it's this little feature going by that is going to change things up as we go through the day today, and I'll show you more on that in just a little bit. Let's also start off this morning with what is going on in Southern California. This is from MesoWest, and these are the 8 o'clock observations. You can see temperatures in the Los Angeles basin are pretty cool, upper 40s and low 50s, but you'll also notice there isn't much in the way of wind. You see in all of these spots that I scroll over here, look at that, the Hawthorne Municipal wind is north at 0. In Santa Monica, the wind is north at 0. There is a little bit of breeze in the valley. The Van Nuys Airport is reporting a wind out of the north at 20. So you can see how variable the winds here at Burbank, the winds out of the southwest, so not all that far away. Here we have a north wind. Here we have a southwest wind rather. So the winds, there is still some breeze here, but we don't see the sustained offshore wind, strong offshore wind that we did see a couple of days ago. But there is going to be a bit more of a breeze during the day tomorrow, but not as strong as what we saw a couple of days ago. All right, let's take a look at the 500 millibar chart and show you what's going to be happening. Let me make sure that I'm backed up all the way to the beginning here. I am. Perfect. All right, so this is this morning. Here's the ridge. Notice the north flow. And as we go through the day today, here's that little inside slider that goes on by, and that'll provide some high clouds. But you'll also notice that the gradient starts to increase here as well. And that's going to give us a round of north winds during the day on Saturday. For areas like Sacramento and Solano County, nothing too gusty, nothing damaging or noteworthy. It's just going to be breezy during the day on Saturday. And I'll show you the wind in Southern California in just a second as well. And then this pattern continues. This will do a couple of things. One is, of course, we'll have some winds from time to time, but this is also a much colder flow. Look at where that wind is coming from. So you have the air here over Canada and coming across Montana and then heading into California. So while we have been seeing the afternoons in the 60s, we are going to be seeing much cooler afternoons as we head into the weekend and into early next week. And then this is just kind of a funky sort of pattern that sets up with another cutoff low off the coast. And this would provide some offshore flow, but this is not like what we just saw for Southern California. But this is also just a dry pattern. And as we go all the way through next week, that dry pattern continues with general ridginess in the west and troughiness in the east. The big low up here in Hudson's Bay, which is a pattern that we see oftentimes in the winter, provides very cold air for the eastern part of the country and warm and dry conditions for the west. So let's talk a little bit about the wind. I'll start off around the northern part of the state, and then I'll show you Southern California as well. And I'm going to start off here this afternoon. Today's winds will be light and from the north, but as that little weather system goes by, let me slide up to tomorrow morning. This is tomorrow morning, Saturday morning at 7 a.m. You'll notice that there are some winds in Yolo County and Solano County. Probably sustained winds of 20, 25, gusts into the 30s. More wind on the west side of the valley than the east side of the valley, as usual. So for those of you, let's say in Amador County, in Jackson, or in Calaveras County, you're seeing very little in the way of wind. Well, into Yolo County and places like Winters, as well as Woodland and Fairfield and Dixon and Vacaville, you're seeing rather gusty winds. So this is first thing Saturday morning. Heading into Saturday afternoon, it's the same story. This is around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, gusty around Sacramento County and from Marysville. But again, there isn't anything in the way of a concern here about it. It's just going to be a breezy day Saturday. And then once we get into the day Sunday, let's fast forward to Sunday. This is Sunday afternoon. There's still some breeze on the west side of the valley, but Sunday the winds calm down quite a bit. So that's the northern part of the state. Let's talk about the southern part of the state. I fast forwarded here to Saturday morning, and as you can see, we have the winds once again offshore. I don't know how easy it is for you to see the wind arrows here, but the wind's arrows are offshore, so they're pointing in this direction. So that is an offshore wind, and that'll pick up a little bit into the afternoon. Right here, this is around 1 in the afternoon, and it's an offshore wind, but it's not with the same intensity that we just saw. These winds will be 20 to 30, but this continues to very dry as well. This is Saturday evening. The mountaintops seeing some gusty winds, but you can see the winds going offshore. And that means that you don't have anything in the way of a marine layer, because if you get a marine layer here, onshore breeze, marine layer, that just increases the humidity, and decreases the wind, and it really just kind of puts a blanket on the fire activity down there, and it would certainly help. So what we're going to see here is not a lot of wind today, but some wind on Saturday that just isn't going to be very helpful for the ongoing fires. And the winds do pick up a little bit during the overnight and into early Sunday morning. That's that classic pattern here where you see the winds going all the way offshore, and then the winds will decrease once we get into the day on Sunday and into Monday. All right, the other big thing that's going to be making headlines today across the country is this snowstorm. I'm going to show you the NAM here. This is this morning. We have the low near the Gulf on the north side of it. We have some nice snow into Arkansas and into Tennessee and to Kentucky. On the south side of it, we're getting rain. A little bit of maybe a mixture in northern Georgia. And then onto the East Coast, it really does dissipate. A couple of days ago, this had looked like a pretty vigorous storm for the mid-Atlantic, but that doesn't look like it's going to happen. This is tonight, and then as we get into early Saturday morning, that low now moves off the coast. A nice deep low, but it's going to track off to the east, it appears, instead of heading off to the north. But still, this will be making weather headlines today. Then during the day Saturday, everything quiets down. There's some light snow going through the northern part of the country with another little feature coming up here. So let's see how much snow this is going to deliver. So this is from the NAM. There is a little band here with maybe 6-7 inches of snow, but if you go into areas like DC and Baltimore, it looks like they may only see an inch of snow or so. So while it looked really good, most areas are going to see 3-4 inches of snow with a couple of bands maybe in that 7 to 8 range. All right, that's the NAM over the next 84 hours. I want to show you the GFS because this is the 6Z GFS, and what this is total accumulated precipitation. And this is as of this afternoon. So this is the precip down in here. I won't get into specific amounts, but what I want to pay attention to here is the overall pattern as we go through the next couple of weeks. All right, this is as of Sunday. We have that rain that's fallen. So this is, again, accumulated rain. This isn't going to, this is just going to keep piling up. So this is as of Sunday. Let's get into, let's say, through next Thursday. Dry here through Arizona and California, some light precipitation in the north, and then more precip from the Mississippi to the east. That's as of next Thursday. Let's go all the way to next weekend. Notice a pattern developing here? So that's more than a week out. Let's keep going way out into fantasy land, and as we keep going, This is all the way out to the 23rd, the 24th, the 25th, the 26th. So we're out 2 weeks, 2 weeks plus. And as you can see, nothing in California. Nice precip on the Gulf Coast and throughout the east. Some of that, of course, would be snow. But yeah, this is the pattern that I wanted to show you, that the latest GFS for the next 2 weeks plus, way out into Fantasyland, shows no precipitation for California. Again, not all that unusual for us to go through the wintertime with an extended lull in precipitation. Sometimes they last a little bit longer than others. Jan Null has done a lot of research on this, and you can find his research on that on the Golden Gate weather site. So you can Google that, Golden Gate weather, find Jan Null's site, and he has a lot on that and other research topics as well. Very interesting stuff there from Jan Null. But it isn't unusual for us to go through this pattern, and it'll likely last through the month. We may see a little bit of precip toward the end of the month. Who knows? Again, that's way out into Fantasyland. But I wouldn't be surprised if it takes us till maybe the 10th or 12th or so of February to see this pattern flip again, and then perhaps get into another wet period from February into March. At least hoping so. Precipitation in the northern part of the state so far this year has been okay, but we're going to probably see those numbers slip below average as we go through this extended period of dry weather. January, on average, is our wettest month. This year is not going to be that way. What instead we're going to be hoping for is, again, a pattern flip as we get into February and March to round out the season with some impressive precipitation. At least that's the hope right now. That's everything I have for you on this Friday morning. It's going to be a bright and sunny, good-looking day, but breezy during the day tomorrow. Make it a great day. Have a great weekend. I'll talk with you later.